Well, hello there. Welcome back to the podcast, Riffing with Clintus, episode 76. Do believe we brought it back last week. Here we are, the second time, 2 weeks in a row. Don't call it a streak. Don't call it it's a comeback. You can call it a comeback. Yeah. So it's Tuesday. I had intentions last week to record this on Mondays, and even honestly, part of me was like, I should record this on Sunday and get it up on Monday. Kind of like Bill Burr, right? He does the Monday morning podcast. He records it Sunday. It goes up on Monday. And that's his, it's the title of his podcast. He kind of has to do that, right? But yeah, Sunday got away from me. And then yesterday, Tiffany made plans. And so I didn't even come in here at all yesterday until later to put on orders and for work. Didn't play any video games and do anything. So, which is actually what I want to talk to you about today. I was talking about it in the vlog. I was just vlogging. Here's my camera, my little camera. It's a little stick. Love this guy. But I was just vlogging. I was just basically saying how I get home from work and it never fails. The days that I should go to the gym, right? Or plan on going to the gym, I inevitably have this internal battle in my head of I want to play video games, or I want to, right now I'm really into this show called Foundation on Apple TV Plus. I just finished season 1, just started season 2. I think there's 10 episodes. So I'm kind of I want to watch it. Season 3 is not coming out until next year. So there's not that big of a hurry, but there's a lot of shows on Apple TV Plus that I want to watch. And I have a free trial. So I'm trying to watch as much as I can during the free trial. And I'm if I feel satisfied, I'm okay, I watched the big, Foundation was the first one I wanted to watch, and then Silo's the other one. And then I think there's at least 2 other sci-fi shows on Apple TV Plus. So those are what I want to watch. There's some movies and stuff too, but right now it's the shows, and I'm really enjoying Foundation. But anyway, I want to watch a show. I want to play video games. Those are the 2 things I want to do. And right now I'm absolutely head over heels in love with New World again. If you've never heard of the game, that game, it's called New World Eternum now, but it was originally released 3 years ago as New World. It was a PC game only. 3 years later, two expansions. They've re-released it, and now it's on console as well, cross-play. So I'm really loving the game. I loved it 3 years ago. I love it now, and it honestly fits. It fits me now for my lifestyle of I only have so much time to game. Granted, there's a desire. There's literally this pull that says there's so much to do in the game. Log in and just get something done. Check a box. There's progress to be made. There's XP to earn. There's money to be made. And I love that. I log in the mornings when I drink my coffee, when the vlog is encoding, and then also I try to, depending on how long it takes to encode, I will play a little bit with drinking my coffee while it's encoding, and then once it's ready to upload, that's really when I sit down and start doing the YouTube stuff. But sometimes, this morning, it was really quick, so I kind of kept playing a little bit to finish what I was doing while it was uploading. But anyway, the game works for me because every little minute that I put into the game is progressing something in the game, and I feel accomplished. I feel like I'm not wasting my time. On the flip side, there is so much for me to do in the game that I just come I gotta get back in there. There's so I barely touched the surface today. I did two little things. I think there's 10 more to do. I haven't even left this territory. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. I'm not complaining about that, and I'm not I'm not making it as a bad thing. I'm saying that is how my brain works and why I love this game. Why this game. I'm obsessed with it. I don't want to say I'm addicted, because obviously I'm doing my responsibilities. I go days without touching it. It's not an addiction. It's an obsession. And honestly, I've been needing a video game obsession for a while. Ever since I stopped streaming full time, video games have not been the same for me, because to be fair, the last, for 6 years straight, anytime I was playing a video game, I was live. I was sitting in this chair behind this microphone in front of this camera, playing a video game, talking to chat. So playing a video game now, as much as I'm loving the New World and I am playing it off stream, it still has that connection to me of like, hey, if I'm playing, I need to be streaming. But if I can't play for more than an hour, I'm not going to stream. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I kind of talk myself out of that. And honestly, that's one of my biggest hurdles, mental hurdles that I have to get over, is I'm still trying to like break the mold of what my last like decade has been, right? I went from working a full-time job with a career to kind of do this YouTube thing on the side. The YouTube thing blowing up to the point where I quit my job to do it full-time. And then almost within a year, I started streaming, playing video games, fell in love with that, fell in love with streaming and live streaming that year. Because I was doing live streaming before that. Like I was doing my Friday live streams, my Friday Q&As, and then upped it to Wednesdays and Fridays. Because again, I fell in love with live streaming. I kind of, I pushed the vlogs aside and focused on streaming on Twitch and video games. Like video games are my favorite hobby, favorite pastime. I used to play Call of Duty every Friday night till 3 a.m. When I worked 3 to midnight, I would come home and play like 2 or 3 hours till like 3 a.m. So like when I look back, video games have always been like my main thing. Multiple times in my life, there have been times where I never watched TV. Like I would go months, dare I say it, years without really watching TV. When I mean that is I didn't have a show that I sat down and watched. I didn't have a show that I looked forward to. DVRs came out. I'd record a couple shows and then I'd have 20 episodes on the DVR. I had 2 seasons of a show on my DVR that I never got to. And then the DVR died and I never went back and watched the shows, because video games are always if I had a little time, video games, right? And I'm talking back when Sierra was born. I'd be holding her with one hand, bottle feeding her with the same hand, and mouse clicking and playing EVE Online, which is an MMO, because I didn't need to use the keyboard and mouse. For the most part, I could just use everything with a mouse. I didn't need to use the keyboard. I could do everything with a mouse. So like, I'm talking like early days, college, and then it goes back even further than that. It goes back to when I was, young with my brothers. Video games have always been a thing for me. And the thing is, I'm saying this, like I'm a gamer, but I'm not like this crazy gamer where I've played 1,000 games and know all these IPs. Like I'm a niche gamer. I'm I don't know what the hierarchy of gamers are. Maybe I need to like look that up. Like what's the hierarchy of a gamer? Because while I can confidently say I've been playing video games practically my entire life, I have some friends that are like uber nerd gamers. They're like, they can name off, they know the companies and the studios and the distribution companies and who made what games. And like, I didn't have a PlayStation 1. I didn't have a PlayStation 2. My first PlayStation was a 3. I got a PlayStation 4 when Destiny came out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've always been a gamer, but not like this wide variety gamer. I don't know. I don't know how to the best way to say that, but let's see here. I'm just curious if I Google search the hierarchy of a gamer. Dad here? Bro, I'm recording a podcast. Yeah, so I did one last week. I'm doing another one this week. So, okay. I forgot there was one. Oh yeah, cool. Have fun. It was posted. Take photos. Bryce is going ice skating with some friends. So a gamer hierarchy often loosely ranks players based on their skill level, competitive success, in-game leadership roles, and sometimes even their knowledge of game mechanics. Yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for. I was more like looking for titles of like gamers. But anyway, you get my point though. Like I'm a gamer, but I'm not like I didn't play a bazillion games. I only played certain games, and I played the same game for a long time, which is what I do now. I mean, really, I fall in love with the game and I just play the crap out of that one game. So, back to present day, New World is my current video game obsession. And knowing that there is still months worth of content for me at my current the amount of that I can play, I have months of content left. And new season's going to come. There's going to be changes. They just released the roadmap recently. So there's plenty of stuff for me to do. There's plenty of content for me to play. And I don't see myself burning out anytime soon. If anything, like I said, it's keeping me hungry. I can't wait to log in and play. I can't wait to log in and progress. I can't wait. There's still parts of the game that I haven't touched. Brand new parts of the game since the last expansion that I haven't touched. The point that I'm getting at is all of that's what's on my mind. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm driving home. That's my current obsession. I want to come home and I want to play New World. The reality is there are other things that I need to do or should do. And that's ultimately that's the topic of today's episode, is the trifecta of what you want to do, what you need to do, what you should do, right? I think that's the triangle of life of everyday decisions, right? The things you want to do, the things that you need to do, and the things that you should do. Now, case in point, I came home today, and I said this on the vlog. If you watch the vlog, you'll see it. But I said, what I want to do is sit down, go live on Twitch, play New World. That's what I want to do. What I should do is go to the gym, get my workout in. What I need to do is go for a walk, because I have step bet going, and I have to make sure I hit my steps every day. 6 days a week, I've got to hit my steps. One day I get one off day, and I like to save that for the weekend, because then I can be lazy and don't have to worry about if I know we have plans, I'd be like, oh, you know what, we're going out on Saturday, we'll be walking around downtown or whatever, we're going to to a festival. I'll definitely get my steps in on that day. So then Sunday is a crapshoot. If I go hiking, I know I can get some steps in there. So anyway, I don't want to ever willingly give up my cheat day or my off day. I'd rather save that to like, oh, cool, I hit my 6 days. Today is my off day. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's my point. So I need to get my steps in at some point. I should go to the gym, but I want to play New World. So then my brain starts to go, okay, well, what's the order of operations here? I should go to the gym right away. As soon as I got home, change my clothes, get my gym shoes on, go to the gym. Get that out of the way. It's an hour, right, of my day. I'm going to get steps going to and from the gym and while I'm at the gym, right? So now I can assess how many steps do I need, right? How many more steps do I need to get? So that kind of goes, okay, do I need to take a walk, or do you think I can get those missing steps just walking around my house? Because I'm not a very sediment guy. I don't sit around a lot, as compared to I used to. So it's a matter of like, okay, well, how many more steps do I need? Is it a short walk? Is it a long walk? That also determines how much time I need to devote to it. So as of right now, I only need 160 steps. I will get that naturally just walking my house. So I'm good on steps. I don't need to take a walk now. There you go, right? So that eliminates that. It's 4:30 p.m. right now. Tiffany's probably going to be home in the next hour, depending on how her day takes her. She usually will go, okay, how much money did I make today? And when she picks up an order that takes her back in the direction of home, she usually goes, that's my last one. So she doesn't have a hard cutoff, right? Unless she's having a really awesome day, then she cuts early, or she's having a really shitty day, she'll cut early. Normal days, though, it's just like get to that. She has a number in her head that she wants to make every day, and then an order that takes her home, so she gets paid to go home. You know what I'm saying? So she'll be home within an hour. So don't really have enough time to fire up a stream, so to speak, right? Especially now that I'm recording this. I'll record this episode probably the next 30 minutes. She'll be home 30 minutes after that. It'll be time for dinner. I have orders to put in. And thus that is the breakdown of like, I don't have time to stream, right? And I talked about this last week, I think, maybe on the podcast, but a schedule. Okay, Monday are podcast days, Tuesday are gym days, Wednesdays are my stream days. Those are the days that I come home from work, whatever time it is, and I'm going to sit in here, I'm going to go live, and I'm going to play, till dinner. And that's kind of my Wednesdays, my guaranteed gaming / streaming day. Thursday would be another gym day. And then Friday's an open day. Friday's open to Tiffany saying, hey, let's go do this thing on happy hour, or I'm not going to be home till a normal day, so feel free to stream. Like Friday's that open day, you know what I'm saying? And then when weekends are complete crapshoots, I can never plan anything. I try not to plan anything. So there you go, right? The podcast, like I want to do this. I enjoyed doing it last week. The feedback was great. And ultimately at the end of the day, I just need to restart the engine and get it going and make it part of my routine. I bring in my little notebook to, when I have an idea for a podcast, write it down. I don't know why I said my notebook. I would use my notes on my phone, but in fact, I think I have in Notion, I think I have a podcast ideas page. I need to resurge that, resurface that and start using it again. But anyway, I just got back from the gym. So protein shake, sorry. I'm trying to finish this off real quick. Get it in as soon as possible, so I'm not possibly ruining my dinner. Yeah, I'm curious, how you manage that triangle, right? When you have time on the weekends, after work, before work, if your hours you work later in the day, how do you determine? Like I put out on X, I said, when I got home from work, all I wanted to do was sit and play video games. But today's Tuesday, which means it's a gym day. So, sad face. And someone replied back going, do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. And I said, well, knowing what going to the gym does for my body makes me happy. What did I say? I said, do what makes you happy. And I said, know what going to the gym does for my body makes me happy. Video games can wait till after dinner. But I do love that frame of mind, though. Thank you for reminding me. Is my response. So basically, when do you give in and say, you know what, screw the gym, I want to do this thing, I'm going to do this thing, or screw the thing that I should do. Again, should, not need. If you need to do something, it is like, be an adult, be mature, and do the thing you need to do. But it's the should, right? I should go to the gym. It's good for me. Don't want to lose the gains. Don't want to lose momentum. I have a workout plan, right? I should go to the gym, but I don't need to. There's no doctor mandate. There's no, if you don't go, you lose your membership. Like I need to walk because I can't lose my bet, right? So that's a need. So I'm just curious, how do you determine that? Is there a weight? Do you kind of weigh it? When was the last time I did the thing that I want to do? Is there another time I can do the thing that I want to do? If I don't do the thing now, will I not be able to do it the rest of the day? Like, I'm just curious your thoughts on that, how you determine that. Something else I thought about this weekend, kind of in the same vein of things that you want to do versus the things that you should do or need to do. I give up a lot of my own personal time to other people, other things. And more specifically, I give up my time for the possibility of doing something else with someone else. And a lot of times it backfires, or a lot of times it doesn't work out. And then I end up wasting my time, or wasting my day. And it kind of hit me today. I kind of got a little, or not today, I'm sorry, this weekend. I kind of got a little irritated because I basically didn't make any plans for a certain time for the chance for something else to happen. But then the thing never happened. So then I was kind of like, well, I should have done that thing. I should have done that other thing. And I kind of made myself like, you know what? Next weekend, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to do this thing. And if you want to do something with me, it'll have to be around this time. You know what I'm saying? I think for too long, I've sacrificed my own free time and sacrificed the things that I want to do, the things that I really want to do, right? Because again, there's a spectrum of the things you want to do, right? Like, I don't know, for example, I do want to hang out with my wife. I do want to hang out with my kids. I do want to hang out with my friends and my family, right? Like these are things that I do want to do. But I also want to play video games. I also want to, get high and sit in the hot tub. I do also want to go for a hike and explore the desert, right? Like there's all these things that I want to do or I'd like to do. Maybe like is a better option, better thing. But it's just a matter of like, how do you kind of throw some feelers out to some people and be like, hey, excuse me. Hey, got plans? Hey, you want to do this thing? Hey, this weekend I'm thinking about doing X, Y, and Z. You want to join me? And so the door's kind of open, but I haven't got any concrete yeses on things. And when it comes to like Tiff and the kids, obviously they're here in the house. So at any given moment, the drop of a pin, something can happen. So I kind of leave myself open for that reason. And I still have this old mentality of like weekdays I work and weekends are for family. And I still have that mentality because I still work, right? Monday through Friday, and then weekends I don't. But now, because I'm working in a different capacity, I'm working a different job, I don't get to do this anymore. I used to do what I love to do more than anything else, 8 to 10 hours a day, 40 to 50 hours a week. I streamed and played video games. So when I was done, I didn't have that burning desire. I got my gaming fix in. I got my social fix in. I could, evenings were whatever, right? With whoever. Whereas now I'm literally having to juggle, and find my way, figure this new chapter out. And I think that's where I struggle because I get let down. I get disappointed. I get like bummed out that I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. Oh, well, try again tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes and you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. So it's, could have a bad day, could have a long day. Tiff could call me and say, hey, you want to do X, Y, Z? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do X, Y, Z. Let's go. I'm like that. I'm spontaneous like that. She throws something at me at the last minute. I'm like, let's go. 99% of the time, the answer is yes. Even if, and I'll say this too, let's say I planned on streaming. I told everybody, I scheduled it. Hey, I'm going to be live at 3 p.m. to play New World on Twitch, Twitch.tv/Clintus. And at noon, Tiffany hits me with, hey, you want to, when you get off work, I don't know, pack a bag and go to the pool. You want to go out to dinner? Let's go downtown. Let's go to Scottsdale, which is an all night thing, right? I would cancel my stream plans in a heartbeat to go do that thing with Tiffany. The problem is that maybe we talked about it, but not 100% locked in. So then I don't plan a stream, leave myself open. Tiffany comes home and she's like, yeah, I don't really feel like doing it. And now I could have streamed. I could have been streaming for like the last 2 hours, but I didn't because I thought we were leaving. You know what I'm saying? That's where that kind of like I get caught up in that kind of, and I know the logical thing to do is just plan stuff and then just tell Tiffany I'm doing this thing. And I've always tried to like, I don't want to be the asshole. I've never been that asshole. It's like, I'm doing this. So tough shit if you don't want to do this or if you want to do something else. I've never been that guy. Never. Like to the point where Tiffany actually gets upset at me that I don't have more of an opinion on things. I'm just like, oh, whatever you want, babe, whatever you want. Well, she's like, well, when it comes to food, when it comes to plans, when it comes to all kinds of things, it's like 99% of the time I'm like, whatever you want, babe. What you pick, whatever. Like, I don't care. I want her to be happy. I'm flexible. I'm easy. I'm not picky at all. Most people are. She definitely is. She's way more picky than I am. Not that she's super picky. I know pickier people. Trust me. I know I have family members that are way pickier than Tiffany. But in comparison to her and I, she's the pickier one. I could be like, oh yeah, we're going to go do this for dinner. And she'd be like, really? So I just eliminate that by not even suggesting it. You give me 2 or 3 suggestions and I'll pick one out of that. Then I know we're safe. You whittle it down to 2 or 3 places, 2 or 3 types of food. Give me the type of food. I want Mexican. Cool. I'll pick the Mexican food restaurant. Or, I'm feeling like Italian. Cool. I'll pick the Italian restaurant. You know what I'm saying? But when you give me this open-ended, like, yeah, sure, we all have our favorites. We all have the things we gravitate towards. Like, I love Asian food. Asian food is my number one favorite. If someone gave me, like, you get to pick dinner every Monday, it's Clint's night to pick dinner. I'm guarantee you 99% of the time we're going Asian, some kind of Asian food every Monday because it's just my favorite. It's and I don't get to eat it very often. Like, I'm lucky if I get Asian once a week, right? I would say on average it's 2 times a month. That's the average. Tiffany stepped it up a little bit for a while there. She was making something on Mondays, Taco Tuesdays, and then the rest of the week was kind of whatever. But it's not regularly enough. Whereas like Mexican food, we eat Mexican food at least 2 times a week, sometimes 3, throw in a mix there. So yeah, I don't know. Going back to like my free time and the things that I like to do, the things that I want to do, I've definitely been selfless with my time and what I do. And I think it's because for that duration of time when I was doing this full time, my job was it was a dream job, right? Streaming, which I separate the two because I'm very much stream right now. Like I could be live right now talking to his chat room with no video game and be just as happy. The video game is a bonus because that's what I like to do with my hobby. As a hobby, is what I like to do with my free time. So to do both at the same time was like, oh, right? Ultimate dream come true. Yeah, I don't know. I because I did it full time, because I did it for so much, my free time outside of work was whatever Tiffany wanted, whatever the kids wanted. Whereas now I'm splitting that free time up with Tiff and the kids and me, and I lose most of the time. And so, like I said, this weekend it kind of hit me, and I was kind of like, you know what, I need to have more time. I got my hike in on Sunday with Cade, which was great. Got to spend time with Cade. That's another bonus. So I hang out with a friend. Got to go out and have a drink. Saturday I did get a 3-hour stream in. We got some productive work done in the garage. You can watch all these vlogs. These are all in the vlogs on Clintus.tv. So it was overall a good weekend, but Sunday was the day that I wasted time. I kind of like waited around to see what the rest of the day was going to look like. What are the plans? What are we going to do? I mean, hell, even Saturday night, we were going over to the music thing, and it was kind of a dud, but things didn't go as planned. There were some curveballs. There were some last minute audibles called, and just the night didn't go well, and then Sunday didn't go well, and it was kind of like a wah. And that's when I was like, I should have just said fuck it and did my thing. And so I don't know. I think this weekend I'm going to talk to Tiffany about it and be like, okay, let's I know weekends are supposed to be we had this discussion months ago. One day a week on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, it's usually Saturday, is our get up out of the house, do things, right? Like busy. And then Sundays are like, we don't leave the house. We just chill. She's not going to get dressed, put her makeup on, get stuff done around the house, veg out, whatever. And I'm like, cool. I'm cool with that. But I'm cool with that for a certain extent, right? Like, I'm not a football guy. I don't sit on the couch and watch football all day or basketball or baseball. Like, I'm not a sports guy, right? Like, I know a lot of people they are fine, sit on the couch for 8 hours watching sports. Totally cool with that. I could do that with a TV show. I'm trying to think the longest I've sat down and watched TV in recent years. I mean, there's been times where I've binge watched, 3 or 4 episodes. So let's just say 4 hours, which is what a football game isn't. Isn't a football game like 4 hours? 3 or 4 hours. I feel like that's what a football game is, but so that's my max, right? After like a 3 or 4 hours, I'm ready to change it up. Now video games, I could very easily sit down and play for 10 hours, albeit that's always happened when I was streaming. Back in the day when I was playing Call of Duty, typically be working, and I'd play Call of Duty for, maybe 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe. I don't know exactly when. It'd be after the kids. We did dinner with the kids, and the kids were settled. I would sit on the couch, put my headset on, and play Call of Duty with Jack and our group of friends that we had. So yeah, I don't know. Going back to, should, need, want, more shoulds. I should be spending more time on socials, right? I've been putting a lot more time on X. I've been putting a lot more effort on X, kind of seeing if I push the needle, where can I land in regards to their monetization. They've changed their monetization program completely, and I'm really curious if I actually apply myself, how close can I get? If like, without really, I haven't really been posting as much on X. I've just been consuming, and so my numbers are abysmal. So November came, and I was like, I'm gonna push hard. November, December, and January is 3 months is the time frame, and see where I can come. If I can come close, cool, keep pushing. I can get there eventually. But if after 3 months I am still so far away, then I'll be like, yep, I'm never gonna get monetization. I'm never gonna hit that metric, and now I won't try as hard. I'll focus on other platforms. But if I can get, if I can trigger that monetization on X for another revenue stream for a platform that has always been my favorite. X has always been my favorite. Now I know it's more controversial now. A lot of people have stopped using it, they started using it less, moved on to other platforms. It's still the most used one that I use. I still have a very heavy user base that I follow that still uses it, even though a large group did leave and stopped using it. I'm finding new accounts to follow. I'm finding a whole new group of creators. I was talking to Kate about this weekend. Now that the election's over, and there has been a mass exodus of users going to Blue Sky and Threads and Mastodon or whatever. I think the top two are Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky is number one, and I think Threads is number two. Even though I think Threads is better than Blue Sky, a lot of people are using Blue Sky. Blue Sky reminds me of the old school Twitter. And so regardless of your political affiliations and regardless of what you feel about it, if you actually use the platform, a couple times, it feels like old school Twitter. It doesn't have all the same features as the current version of X, but it still has a lot of the features that, Twitter did 3 or 4 years ago. I think as more and more people start to use it and the algorithm starts learning what you like, people are going to start finding what they're looking for. With that being said, like I said, politics got involved, and one side of the aisle did move over there. Just like 4 years ago, the other side of the aisle moved to another platform called Truth. So you've got, politics get muddy and people jump to other platforms to stop hearing the other side, which is bad for both sides. Realistically, I feel like everyone should go back to X and fucking learn how to be adults and use the platform. There are block buttons, there are mute buttons, there's filters, there's a timeline that you can use that you will only see people you follow. That's the thing that blew my mind. When so many people were saying how toxic X was, and before the election and during the election cycle, like X is just trash, it's garbage, all I'm seeing is X, Y, and Z. I'm like, bro, do you not know how to use the platform? By the way, if you engage with that shit, you're going to see more of that shit. That is literally how the algorithm works. So if you tap in to read the full article, if you tap in to read the comments, if you reply to a comment, if you retweet something, you are going to see more of that shit. So because you're engaging with it, which at the same time, I'd hear people complain about seeing all this garbage, but then also see a post of them posting the garbage. I'm like, why are you, it just, that was one of the reasons why I was more voyeuristic on X during the election. Now the election's over, I do feel this sense of release. I feel like this tension is released. It's still very lopsided one way or over the other, because there's one group that's more vocal than the other. But I'm finding this emerging creator group. They're like X creators, And it's very different because it's a text-based platform, but because there's monetization now, just like every other platform, you start seeing people use the platform with that in mind. And I don't want to say gaming the system. They're doing how it's intended, but you're just seeing kind of low quality posts at a higher frequency to meet the monetization, right? And I'm even playing around with some things. I'm trying some new things out. One posted extremely well. Got some flack for it, but it was the first time me doing it, and it was of course a political post, which wasn't my intentions. I was just sitting on the patio having a margarita. I was like, this might be fun, and did something. I just did my second one now on a nature post. We'll see if that does. I don't think it's gonna do the same numbers, but we'll see. We'll see what it does. But anyway, I'm changing up my structure. I'm trying new things for the same reasons, right? I'm trying new things because I am trying to unlock the monetization on the platform. All right, done. But I am using X more. It's still the platform that I post the most on. So if you are trying to get like updates from me, I do post on Threads and I do post on Blue Sky, but X is my go-to. It's in my bar at the bottom. It's what I open up the most. Like, actually, you know what? Here, let's do. This will be fun. What is it? Screen time. Let's see. So for the week, right? And it's only Tuesday, so it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're 3 days in. X is my most used app with 3 hours and 5 minutes. My second longest used app is my Maps app and that's mostly today. I literally have my map open today, guiding me back to and from customers. Messages is almost as long, 2 hours, because I'm texting my dad, my brothers, everybody. Like, texting is obviously a big thing. And then it goes podcasts, Instagram, and that's just this week. That's just in 3 days, right? Can I go back in time? I can. Okay, here we go. Last week. Here we go. So full week. Here we go. Full week. X, number one app with 12 hours. Maps with 6 hours. Messages with 4.5 hours. Podcast with 2.5 hours. Instagram, music, camera. Those are my top used apps. So my point is I'm on X a lot. So if you're still on the platform, use the platform. Give me a follow at Clintus. I'm at Clintus on Threads and Instagram. Blue Sky, I'm Clintus.tv. I got to remember to go back and I can change the URL on that, and I need to do that. I tried it the first time and it didn't work, so I gave up on it. But nevertheless, Clintus.tv on Blue Sky if you want to follow me there. What else is going on? So, the gym has been good. I've done 2 12-week programs. Took longer than 12 weeks because I don't do 3 days a week like I'm supposed to. And so I'm on my 3rd, and same thing. Like, I schedule myself for a 3-day week workout, and I end up just doing 2 days a week. So I keep pushing back that 3rd day, and it just keeps pushing back. So, but it's happening. I probably should change it to 2 days a week. It would reset the program, do 2 days a week. But then I think the reason why I didn't is because it adds more workouts to the same day. So the day ends up being like an hour and a half. Realistically, I want to go an hour twice a week, but that doesn't exist. So other than that, I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up. We're having it at my dad's house. Whole family's coming. My mom. I'm really looking forward to all the food. Just again, Thanksgiving for me. When people ask me what my favorite holiday is, I usually say Thanksgiving because it's November, my birthday month, Sierra's birthday month. Inevitable, we're gonna get together with family. Used to do Tiffany's family and my family, and now we just do my family for the most part. But we invite Tiffany's family, so Tiffany's family's coming. One big happy family. But it's food. It's food and family and friends, and that's my favorite things. That's why it's my favorite holiday. Even though it's not exciting, it's not like a 4th of July where it's summertime and you're outdoors, you're grilling, you're drinking, you're listening to music, you're fireworks, like woo, woo, it's not exciting. But because of those reasons, that's why it's usually my favorite holiday. So I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, as soon as Thanksgiving's over, it's like Christmas. Even though Christmas music's popping up, people got their lights up, decorations are out, it's happening. As soon as Thanksgiving's over, I mean, we put our decorations up that weekend. We brought them out last weekend. So as soon as Thanksgiving's over, we'll come home, and I mean, the kids are off. I have to work on Friday, but the kids are off, and I think Tiffany will probably take the day off too, and they'll put the tree up and all that stuff. So if we don't do it Thursday night, they might want to do it Thursday night. We'll see. Yeah, business is good. Work. We're getting busy. Busy season's finally kicking off. It just took longer to get here. Got a couple of prospects of new customers. Need to follow up with them. And yeah, the vlog channel is holding steady. I don't know. I think I talked about this last episode, but I'm picking up 1,000 new subs a month, which is great. I'm not complaining, but obviously with the end all goal being the gold play button out of 1 million subscribers, we got 200 months to go. So yeah, what is that, like 10 years? So it's not something that it's fun to look at. I'm a big analytics data guy. I like looking at numbers, but that's not a number that I'm really focusing on. If I can maintain 1,000 minimum, cool, right? At least, I mean, 1,000 new subs a month, that's great. And that's net, right? So we lost subs, we lose subs every month, but we gain 1,000 new. So that's exciting. Numbers wise, this month's a little lower than the previous month, but still enjoying it. I talked about recently how I even after doing this for 18 years, I still struggle with the planning, the balancing, and I feel like I have to do it daily because I have to keep that routine going, right? If I skip a day, then what's skipping 2 days or 3 days or a week? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of difficult for that reason, because I don't always have something to say or show every day. And one of the things I recently started thinking about is missed opportunities. When I did do this full time, missed opportunities. I was so focused on streaming the last few years, I let the vlog channel die off. And I've admitted to, I got burned out. I think at the height I peaked, and when I saw the peak and then flat and then started to kind of dip down a little bit in 2017, when the algorithm changed dramatically changed my channel. It was kind of a catch-22. It was like, oh, okay, so that's the biggest, the highest my channel is going to get. So we peaked, and I also fell in love with streaming and playing video games. So it's kind of like they happened at the same time. I think if one happened and the other didn't, like if the channel was still rocketing and just like a rocket ship flying up, I still would have streamed, but I probably wouldn't have put so much effort into it. Or if the channel had, kind of died off, but I was like, yeah, video games or whatever, I'm going to keep focusing on the vlogs. I could maybe brought the channel back up, or at least maintained it for longer, but I really let the channel slide and just, I killed the channel, so we're rebuilding, but we're literally, it feels like we're rebuilding from zero. We're starting over. It really does feel like that. It's been a year now of the daily vlogs, and I look at these numbers. I mean, realistically, 3.4 million views. That's nothing. That's not something to be like, that's nothing, dude. That's such shitty. 3.4 million views in this year. That's incredible. 12,000 new subscribers, right? Almost 200,000 hours of watch time. Like, that's insane. And so I'm still humbled by that. I'm still humbled that so many people watch and engage with me. So many people have made me part of their daily routine. I mean, I get those comments on a regular basis, like, you're part of my daily routine, which is another reason why I still post every day. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Thank you for for still, riding along with me. Appreciate it. That's pretty much all I got today. There's no reason for me to keep rambling on. That was kind of what I wanted to talk about. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's obviously a comment section down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Topics that maybe you wanted me to get into, right? Dedicate an episode to, or maybe like if there's three small topics, we can have an episode with 3 small topics in there. I've already talked to Sierra and Bryce. They're both down about being on the podcast and doing some, episodes with them. So I'm not talking about like bring so-and-so on or do an episode with so-and-so. Like, I mean, like, what do you want me to talk about? Got some of my suggestions. Again, the thing with the podcast is that's going to be different with the vlog is that we can dedicate a full episode, 30 to 60 minutes about one thing. And we can talk about it in depth. Something else I kind of thought about doing was doing stories, like going back into my past and talking about a story, an event. Again, I listen to some of these podcasts that they normally have someone they're interviewing, and then every once in a while they do a solo episode and they'll like go back and talk about a moment in their life. Sometimes it's like, oh, this is what happened this weekend. This is what happened this week. Right. But then like with Thanksgiving going on, someone was just like, when I was growing up, Thanksgiving was like this, this, and this. Like maybe that could have been a good episode today. I could have sat down and talked about Thanksgiving traditions or something. And maybe we'll do that next week. Even though we don't really have traditions, but I can still talk about Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. If you're listening to this in the audio version, feel free to hit me up on X, at Clintus, and just be like, hey, I got done listening to the podcast. I'd love to hear an episode about whatever. Shoot a DM to me on Instagram or Discord. Like I said, I'm Clintus on everything. I think there's comments on Spotify. If you're listening to this or watching this on Spotify, I think there's a comment section there too, even though I don't necessarily know how to find it. I have to look for it, maybe in the app. So yeah, there you go. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I apologize. I'm not a better creator. I apologize. I'm not a creator. I flat out. I talk about this all the time. I don't create, I document. So it makes me a really shitty creator for that reason. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one.